Great team win against an excellent opponent. You guys know the respect and admiration and love that I have for Kevin O'Connell. What a great job, what a great team they've been really through the first 6 weeks, and obviously now we're in our 7th game. They had a bye as well, but our guys were ready to go tonight. I was really pleased. I thought Matthew Stafford was outstanding. Congratulations to him for going top 10 all-time completions now, surpassing Dan Marino all-time for 9th. Our offensive line was really good. I thought they did a great job being able to get removal. I thought their protection was outstanding. Kyron always plays so tough. Great job on the first touchdown to be able to win on a little option route. And then it was so great having Puka and Cooper back. There's an energy, there's a spark. Thought the defense fed off of those guys. They did a good job offensively coming out, getting 2 scoring drives, but then I thought we settled in. We were able to get pressure on Darnold. We knocked out the run. And then for us to be able to close it out with a safety, awesome job. But we've got to continue to get this going. And today was a real positive, but it's one game. But really happy for those guys, and it'll make for a little bit more enjoyable birthday for my son Jordan on his first birthday. How about that shit?
Sorry. 1-4 heading into the bye, bunch of injuries, flipped around so quick. Do you sort of anticipate that it could happen like this?
I believe in this group, Sam. I believe in the coaches. I believe in the players. I saw a resolve. I didn't see a flinch, and we still have a long way to go. We've won 2 games in 5 days, but it's just 2 games, and we've done a good job of getting ourselves back to where we wanted to be, and found a way to win last week, really led by the defense, and then found a way to have a good team win. Another guy that I didn't mention, Ethan Evans, pinning him deep on the short field punt inside the 3. So I'm excited about this journey ahead, and we've learned a lot about people in these first 7 weeks. We've had to go through a lot of different things relative to new faces playing that maybe we didn't expect. And then it's great to be able to get some of the cavalry back. And I think we'll start to see that over the next couple weeks. And we got to be able to hit the ground running. And we got a great challenge, next week.
Hey, Coach, what do you feel about...
I'll come right back to you. Go ahead, Nick.
What do you feel about just the fluidity of this offense? You mentioned having Puka Nacua return as well as Cooper Kupp. At what point did you see that fluidity and that synergy trying to come back in this point?
I think it was in the walkthrough on Tuesday. No, here's what I would say. I thought it was great, just a boost for our team to be able to get 2 experienced guys that were ready to go. They were chomping at the bit. They had been prepared. Obviously, we really don't practice leading into this game. You get like 20 full speed reps, and those are still minimal as is. It's all above the neck. But I thought Matthew had a look in his eye where he was going to be ready to go, and it's like, hey, you're coming with me because we're going to go do this thing the right way. And I thought he got through progressions. He looked like Alcaraz on the court, escaping the 2 rushers to be able to throw Cooper Kupp his touchdown. That was a good one, man. Give me a courtesy laugh at least. He was. I think we've got to build on this, and it's one game. I'm really pleased with the resolve and the response of this team coming off of the bye, and now we got to keep this momentum going.
Sean, when they couldn't get their typical pressure against you guys early, how did you see them adjust, and then how did you guys counter adjust?
Yeah, they really, early on, they did it a little bit, but they didn't pressure nearly as much as they had shown on tape, and I thought Matthew was hot from the jump. They slowed that down, and really they didn't pressure a whole lot in general. They brought the pressure at the end when we threw the little smoke screen out to Cooper. But for the most part, they didn't do nearly as much as what they had shown. And Coach Flores does a great job mixing it up. But I thought we were able to really get run, pass, keep the ball in play. I thought even being able to push the ball down the field because our offensive line was holding up. Even if we didn't hit it, it ended up loosening things up. I really thought, the big play was Demarcus Robinson's touchdown on the go ball down the far sideline. They played a man coverage, caught him right there. But I thought Matthew played really well. And I loved his response after the 1 turnover that we did have.
Did that surprise you that they played you like that?
I think, Coach Flores is a great coach. I think we were going to be, we had to be ready for everything. They do a great job of mixing personnel groupings too. It's changing a bunch of different front structures. They've got these movable chess pieces where they can create a bunch of different defensive structures that really challenges you. And I thought Bo Limmer and our offensive line did a nice job getting it targeted the right way for the most part today.
Sean, you talk a lot about players not coming back until they can return to performance. So can you kind of take us through how the decision to play Puka after not practicing last week and only doing jog?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, I kind of remove myself because I want to try to be focused and in the moment. You're obviously checking up on guys. Reggie Scott comes to my office on Monday, or whenever it was after I had spoken with you guys, And he says, I think, Reggie didn't throw it out there unless he knows it's probably a good chance. He said, I think Puka might have a chance to go. He had said, all right, we'll shoot for getting you back. Who do we play? Seattle next, maybe for Seattle. He said, I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good. He went and had a workout session where he ran routes, and did a great job. His movement looked good. I talked to him, and I said, do you want to try to give this thing a shot? And he said, yes. He took part in the walkthrough on Tuesday. Did a little bit more movement on his own, and then yesterday in practice he looked really good, and once you tease me, you're going, all right? And so that was kind of really how that ended up coming about, but he had shown that he was ready for that performance, and this guy's mindset, his mentality, he's a war daddy, he's a stud. I love his play energy and what he brings. He was ready to go tonight. He made a big impact on the game.
After testing their line early, Jared Verse seemed like he discovered something and was really effective, especially down the stretch. How did you see him settle in and start to problem solve against what they were doing?
I thought Giff, Chris Shula, Joe Caniglio, our defensive coaches did a great job of being able to identify it. And then we got into some of those situations where you're able to tee off, pin your ears back a little bit in some of the known pass, Jordan. But I think Jared has really done an excellent job, making plays. You feel him from when you're just observing as a spectator, but I think he's played his two cleanest games from the Raiders and then from this past week, where he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's playing discipline, and then he's maximizing his opportunities to be able to go shoot his shot. He was awesome tonight.
Sean, when you talk about having Cooper and Puka back, did you feel today, with Matthew having that look in his eyes, that it opened up, for lack of a better word, your playbook and what
did you think?
Me.
Yeah, here's what I would say. It's always a combination, but there's a confidence, there's a comfort, there's a rapport that's been established with Matthew and Cooper over years, and then Puka and Matthew last year, and then leading into this season. And so these guys are ballers, and Matthew brought out the best in everybody, but I thought Puka and Cooper were ready to go. They made an impact. DeMarcus Robinson, big time, 2 catches, 2 big time touchdowns that he ended up having for us. And then I thought, Tutu Atwell on the corner route. Everybody made a contribution. Even Colby Parkinson's check down on the play action. It was a huge play that we had to have. So, you guys know, football is the greatest team sport that there is, and I thought everybody had a hand in it tonight. Coaches did a great job. I got to give a big shout out to Mike LaFleur, and our offensive coaching staff for putting together a great plan against an unbelievably tough defense. That'd give you a good anxiety attack preparing for those guys in a short week.
Sean, this is the first time we've spoken to you since the buzz surrounding Cooper Kupp possibly being traded has surfaced.
There's a lot of information. Here's what I'll tell you. Teams reached out. Some of the things that I've seen out there, they're just not true. We've addressed that with those individuals. Teams have called about him. And really we let him know what the dialogue was there. And then there's a lot of stuff out there where there's not a lot of accountability to the reports, and that's unfortunate.
Do you think the performance tonight makes you guys more apt to possibly entertain offers?
I don't think about those things. I think about coaching our team. I think a lot of the things that were out there, speculation was exactly what that was, speculation. We're an inside-out organization. I'm really glad to have Cooper Kupp back with us. And that's what I expect to stay that way.
Sean, you said this has to continue, but does this feel like a turning point? You've been a part of these moments before.
Here's what I'd say. It's good momentum that we have right now, but it's one game. And really, we've been able to get 2 wins coming off the bye. We started off and had some tough, early season losses where 3 of those losses were 1-possession games. We've started talking about figuring out how to finish opponents, and we've done that for the last 2 weeks. But you guys know this will be short term. We'll get a chance to be able to get a couple days off, and then we'll come back ready to roll against Seattle. And last I checked, they're a pretty damn good football team through 7 games, and we'll have to be ready to go. There was one more back there. I'll get it.
Yeah, Coach, speaking of Seattle, going to a big divisional game, kind of with a mini bye coming up now, playing Thursday night. What's the mindset going into this portion of the season where now you get this one, and now you're really in a fight, not just for the playoffs, but to get back into the top of winners division?
Yeah. The mindset is one game at a time, one day at a time, like what we've stayed. I respect the job that everybody has to do, where there's narratives written every single day, every single week. What we've done is we've done a good job coming off the bye, handling the things that we can control, and that's what I expect us to continue to do. I think you need to stay humble. We need to go back to work. We need to figure out there's a lot of things that we can clean up, and then the positive things. Let's continue to build on that, and let's understand that the work works. That's what I'm looking for. All right, thanks, guys.